My naughty cat. My name is Lily. I like to sit quietly and read books. My favorite thing to do is to relax and enjoy the peace. However, my cat, Tilly, is very different from me. She is naughty and do not calm down and always causes a lot of trouble. One sunny morning, I woke up to the sound of loud meowing. I rubbed my eyes and looked around. Tilly was at the window, pawing at the glass. She wanted to go outside. I sighed and got out of bed. "Okay, Tilly, let's go outside," I said. I opened the door, and Tilly dashed out like a lightning bolt. She ran around the garden, chasing butterflies and birds. I sat on the porch, watching her play. It was a beautiful day. The sky was blue and the sun was shining brightly. The flowers in the garden were blooming, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of roses. As I watched Tilly, I remembered the first day I brought her home. She was a tiny kitten back then, with big green eyes and soft white fur. I fell in love with her the moment I saw her, but I soon realized that Tilly was not an ordinary kitten. She was full of energy and always up to something mischievous. One day, when Tilly was still a kitten, she got into a big mess. I was in the kitchen, baking cookies. I had left a bowl of flour on the counter. Tilly, being curious as always, jumped onto the counter and knocked the bowl over. Flour flew everywhere. It covered the floor, the counter, and Tilly herself. She looked like a little ghost, covered in white flour. I couldn't help but laugh at the sight. Tilly looked up at me with her big green eyes, as if to say, "What did I do?" Another time, Tilly got into even more trouble. It was a rainy day, and I was sitting in the living room, reading a book. Tilly was playing with her favorite toy, a little ball of yarn. Suddenly, I heard a loud crash. I looked up and saw that Tilly had knocked over a vase. Water and flowers were everywhere. I quickly put my book down and ran to clean up the mess. Tilly sat in the corner looking guilty. I couldn't stay mad at her for long. She was too cute. Tilly also loved to explore the neighborhood. Every morning, she would run out of the house and disappear for hours. I always worried about her, but she always came back home safely. One day, Tilly didn't come back. I was so worried. I walked around the neighborhood, calling her name. "Tilly! Tilly!" I called. But there was no sign of her. I searched for hours, but I couldn't find her. Just as I was about to give up, I heard a faint meowing. I followed the sound and found Tilly stuck in a tree. She had climbed up too high and couldn't get down. I called the fire department and they came to rescue her. I was so relieved to have her back safe and sound. Despite all the trouble Tilly caused, I loved her dearly. She was my best friend and my constant companion. We did everything together. We played together, ate together, and even slept together. At night, Tilly would curl up next to me in bed. Her soft purring always lulled me to sleep. One of my favorite memories with Tilly happened one winter evening. It was snowing outside, and the world was covered in a blanket of white. I decided to build a snowman in the garden. Tilly was curious about the snow. She had never seen it before. She cautiously stepped into the snow, leaving tiny paw prints behind her. I rolled big balls of snow to make the snowman's body and head. Tilly watched me with interest. Then she decided to join in the fun. She pounced on the snowballs, breaking them apart with her paws. I laughed and started over again. Together, we built the snowman. When it was done, Tilly looked at it proudly, as if she had made it herself. Another memorable day was Tilly's first birthday. I wanted to make it special for her. I baked a small cake and put a single candle on it. I even bought a little party hat for Tilly. When the time came, I lit the candle and sang "Happy Birthday" to her. Tilly looked at the cake with wide eyes. She was fascinated by the flickering flame of the candle. I helped her blow it out, and then I cut a small piece of cake for her. She tasted it cautiously, then licked her lips and meowed for more. It was a simple celebration, but it made me and Tilly very happy. Tilly also had a mischievous side that always kept me on my toes. One day, I came home from school and found the living room in chaos. Tilly had somehow managed to open the birdcage and let my pet parakeet, Tweety, out. Tweety was flying around the room, chirping loudly. Tilly was chasing him, trying to catch him. I quickly closed the door to keep Tweety from escaping. Then I gently caught Tweety and put him back in his cage. Tilly looked at me with innocent eyes, as if she didn't understand what she had done wrong. I couldn't help but laugh at the situation. Over the years, Tilly and I had many adventures together. She made my life exciting and filled it with joy. One summer, we went to the beach. It was Tilly's first time seeing the ocean. She was fascinated by the waves and the seagulls. She chased the seagulls, trying to catch them, but they always flew away just in time. Tilly also loved digging in the sand. She would dig little holes and then lie down in them, enjoying the coolness of the sand. I built sand castles, and Tilly would inspect them, sometimes knocking them over with her paws. Another time, we went on a camping trip. I set up a tent in the forest, and Tilly was curious about everything. She explored the campsite, sniffing the trees and bushes. At night, we sat by the campfire, roasting marshmallows. Tilly sat on my lap, purring contentedly. The stars were shining brightly in the sky, and the forest was alive with the sounds of crickets and owls. It was a magical night. Despite her naughty ways, Tilly had a kind heart. She was always there for me when I needed her. When I was sad, she would cuddle up next to me and purr softly. Her presence always comforted me. She had a special way of making me feel better, no matter what. As the years went by, Tilly grew older, but she never lost her playful spirit. She still loved to chase birds and explore the neighborhood, but she also enjoyed spending quiet moments with me. We would sit together on the porch, watching the sunset. Tilly would sit on my lap, and I would stroke her soft fur. It was in these moments that I felt the happiest. Day, I noticed that Tilly was not her usual self. She was not as playful, and she seemed tired. I took her to the vet, and they told me that she was getting old and that she needed to rest more. I made sure to take extra good care of her. I gave her all her favorite foods and made her a cozy bed. Even though she was not as active as before, she still had a sparkle in her eyes. Tilly lived a long and happy life. She brought so much joy and love into my life. Even though she caused a lot of trouble, I wouldn't have changed a thing. She taught me to cherish the small moments and to find joy in the little things. Now, every time I see a butterfly or hear the sound of a cat's purr, I think of Tilly. She will always hold a special place in my heart. My life was richer because of her, and I am grateful for all the wonderful memories we shared. So, this is the story of me, Lily, and my mischievous and beloved cat, Tilly. Though she is no longer with me, her spirit lives on in my heart. I will always remember her with love and happiness.